Okay, it's time to be unoriginal and talk about the same topic went over so many times by other heavy mains. Miniguns! Personally, I find the minigun unlocks to fall into two categories. The miniguns that help compensate for the heavy's innate weaknesses, and the ones that don't. Starting things off with the most talked about minigun, the TommySlav, which on release was the only used heavy primary for basically removing the heavy's rep down time until it got nerfed, and then got nerfed again, and then it was never used, and then it got rebuffed with a new tighter spread, and it's now considered the meta. First of all, the stats on this gun are very misleading. The attack speed reduction isn't 20%, but is closer to 14%. I've seen this attributed to how TF2 handles game ticks, but looking at the stats on the wiki, I think it's more likely that the weapon just has 20% more time between shots of stock, as it has a listed firing speed of 0.12 seconds and the stock is 0.105 seconds. But this isn't the same as a 20% reduction in bullets fired per second. Like in the case of a 100% slower firing speed, this would be 0.21 seconds. So a 50% reduction and not, no bullets fired ever. The spread's also weird. With my testing, it looked more like a 15% reduction in spread on each axis, which is like a 30% reduction in total area. And the wind-up time is exactly 80% of stock, so hey, at least that stat is exactly what you think it is. Okay, so why do so many people nut their fucking jungle booties over this gun? In short, it's just in that list of guns that help compensate for the heavy's weaknesses. Like the Scout, the heavy wants to get real close to the people he's killing. Bullet spread and damage fall-off do not like the heavy. But, unlike the Scout, he's so slow, it's hard to get close to people. The TommySlav's tighter spread makes up for this by giving the heavy a larger effective range, so he doesn't have to be as close to people. The faster spin-up time lets heavy react faster and do some bunny-hopping bullshit when he's getting around. And the silent spin-up is, well, let's be honest, mostly just a way to troll his heavy around a corner waiting to obliterate some sniper that just doesn't know any better. Ooh, the Natasha. Hold up, is that a 25% damage penalty? That, unlike the TommySlav, actually does mean you do 75% of stock's damage? Bad gun, GG, just like everyone says. That's what I thought, and I never touched it for the longest time until I just felt like being an asshole one day and started bringing it out to make other players mad and realized, oh wait, this is actually good. I put this into the same group as the TommySlav. This gun is so much more than it's made out to be. Yes, it does have a big damage penalty. Yes, it has an even slower rev down, but it addresses the problem of heavy being slow by making everyone else as slow as he is. Sure, the damage penalty is harsh, but let me let you in on a secret. Heavy still obliterates other classes in a 1v1 if they get close to him. Now, some people say that Natasha is a crutch. After all, making people move slower makes them easier to hit, and if you could track better, you'd do better with stock. But when people want to put distance between them and you, Natasha more than makes up for its damage reduction by keeping people closer, and thus in your effective damage range. People trying to run behind cover get stuck moving like a snail and get forced to eat your gun. This is without even getting into the more supportive nature of the gun, making all your teammates hit their shots easier. By far, the most slept-on heavy minigun, and a really good choice in so many situations. The only problem with this gun could be if there was some simple method players could use to negate the slow effect. Good thing that doesn't exist. Valve, please fix. But for now, most players don't know about that, and you can play heavy on easy mode. It also has a damage reduction effect I didn't really go into that it used to always apply when rev down, and it was pretty nuts. Giving the heavy an effective 375 health and 563 full overheal. But really, with how powerful this gun already is, that was not okay to happen, even if players were surprised to see it nerfed. Speaking of that damage reduction, a gun that actually needed it. The problem with the Brass Beast is the reduced mobility and increased spin-up time make it harder for the heavy to be in and stay in his effective damage range. This almost completely negates the damage bonus in so many situations. Now sure, the Brass Beast does have its place. If you know the enemy's going to be hyper-aggressive and throw themselves like mad into you, You can really teach them why that's a terrible idea to do into a heavy, but that's kind of it. You need people to run into you. Before the nerf, this actually made a heavy medic combo a hilariously effective force at stopping pushes. The damage resistance not only gave heavy 563 effective full overheal, but made every point of healing the medic gave him 20% more effective. You want to get close enough to that medic to kill him? Get torn apart by a brass beast. But the problems are simple to sum up. Heavy's up-close damage is already really powerful, and he needs tools to be able to put him in that range, not tools to make him more effective when he's already in it. It's like a scatter gun that does more damage but makes Scout run at pyro speed. It sounds really good until you realize you lose more damage by being unable to abuse his strong close-up meat shots. Now to wrap things up with the last primary unlock, the Huel Long Heater. Another minigun with misleading stats. Due to the damage reduction, the damage bonus on burning players works out to be about 12% higher than stocks. Aside from that, it suffers from over-specialization. It not only benefits from having pyros, but having lots of reliable ammo sources. And there's the problem. Not much to say on this one, really. Just add in the idea that the Ring of Fire only drains ammo when you're actually shooting instead of just when revved down, and it becomes far more usable. The fire circle is unreliable, doesn't even help against good spies, and typically only helps you mow down people. The stock minigun already deletes from the game in that situation anyway. So, the heater was originally designed as a firework launcher that rapidly shot out firework projectiles, until Valve said nah and made it another minigun with a flame ring and more ammo loss. That could have been cool. Maybe in another timeline we'd be talking about how the heater is the best minigun in the game due to getting around bullet spread. Or maybe it would be shit. Who knows?